Hi everyone. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. I hope you've had a great day. I am so glad that you're here with me right now because I'm going to need the moral support as I try to do something that I have never even come close to trying to do before. I am going to be reading classics for 24 hours, and the reason that I chose classics is not because I think that these are books that everyone should read, because trust me, I do not subscribe to that at all. I think that you should be reading things that make you feel good, things that make you want to read, that make you feel alive when you read them, as cheesy as that sounds. But that's the things that I've been reading lately to get myself back into reading. And now I think that I'm ready to kind of take on a challenge. I think if you feel forced to read classics, it's not the right mindset. But if you just want to challenge yourself and go for them, just really go for it, then I say why not. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I feel a little bit behind, and I just want to know what all the hype is about. I have picked pretty short books today because I want to try to squeeze as many of them in as I can. And I don't know how fast I'll be able to read when it's been almost 48 hours of me with no sleep, but we shall see. It is currently 11:17 p.m. I have my timer here. It is set to 0. I will not be messing with, tampering, editing, doing anything to this timer. It will just be going for 24 hours. So I am going to start it now, and I will see y'all when I finish a book or when I take a break. Okay, starting now. Oh, by the way, I think I'm going to start with Old Yeller by Fred Gibson, because it is probably the shortest book I have here, and it is a kid's story, so I'm just interested. I want to know the deal with Old Yeller, and I'm ready to possibly cry because I think this is a tearjerker. We'll see. All right, here we go. That is hot. Alrighty, so we have made it to our 1 hour mark, as you can see, and I just wanted to update you on my progress. I am on page 38, which is in chapter 5 of this book, and so far it is a very good read. I am enjoying the old-timey feel of it, as well as the simplicity of the story thus far. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. All right, back to reading. All right, we have reached our 2 hour mark. I have paused our timer, and I am in chapter 10 on page 76. Got about 30 pages, maybe a little less, more of this book, and I'm keeping my original sentiments that the only offensive thing in here is that they call Native Americans Indians, but the rest of the book has been a delight. There's just so much imagery of being in the country. I believe they're in Texas, but being in old country times and just living with animals, with the food that they are growing on their land is what they're eating. He is hunting for his family. I love a good old story like this. I always liked like The Little House on the Prairie, Anne of Green Gables. I might have to just read one of those real soon. But yeah, this has been a great time. And now I'm a little bit hungry. I think I'm going to put a pause on Old Yeller and start an audiobook in my ear so that I can cook and eat. Hi, I'm back. I have coffee. I have some tortilla soup that was about to spill on my bed. And I have some eggs. Does anyone else just eat eggs in the middle of the night? I love eating eggs in the middle of the night. But anyway, I started listening to Dracula. That's what I chose. And I'm so hooked on it, I might just have to keep going with it and put Old Yeller aside for now, because I'm really enjoying this. I just completed hour 3. I've been listening to Dracula this whole time, and I am really enjoying it. I am getting a little bit confused with all the characters, trying to keep track of them. I think it would be easier if I was reading it physically so that I could annotate it, so I'm definitely gonna need to get my hands on a copy of it, and I think I'll be rereading it in the near future, or even maybe listening to it again, because I just want to be able to absorb it in its full beauty. But besides just those confusing character things, it's been a very enjoyable story, and I really like the version I'm listening to. It was read by Christopher Lee, and I will leave a link in the description so y'all can go listen to it, because it's really good. I kind of think a change of scenery would be nice, but this is where the lighting's at. Is it worth moving everything? Maybe it is. Alright, it is hour 4, just finished, and I just ended up finishing Old Yeller. It was fantastic. I loved it. I think I would give it probably 3.75 stars. It was very good. I was expecting the tragedy of it to be much more drawn out and painful to read, but it was tasteful, actually, and I think it was a very, very fitting ending to the story. Yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful little story, very quick read. Alright, on to the next now. I'm gonna leave Dracula to be finished when I'm needing more audiobook material. But for now, I'm going to start the Picture of Dorian Gray. Excited. I'm gonna try to find a line from each book that stood out to me. So this is one of the ones that I highlighted in Old Yeller. It says, "I had to admit Papa had been right when he told me how bad I needed a dog." I love that. That is so sweet. I love this boy and his love for his dog so much. So I'm only 4 hours in, but I think I've realized that the trick is sitting up with a bright light on, because that's the only way we're gonna make it. You can tell in my voice I am already deteriorating, getting tired. I did not think that I would succumb this early, but we're still going. Just need to be sitting up for sure. Also, this makeup is like 8 hours old, so give me a break. Okay, it is 6:19 in the morning. The sun is coming up. I'm at hour 5, and I am on page 24 4 of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I'm noticing that my reading is getting much slower. I am having a hard time staying focused. I'm trying to remember what time I got up last morning. I think it was around 11:30, so I haven't been up for 24 hours yet, but I'm definitely feeling it. Anyway, this book is compelling. It's interesting. It is kind of amazing how relatively common the language is thus far. I like it. I'm gonna keep going with this. And I might go outside for some nice morning time. Okay, I was getting super duper bit up in the grass, so that made me come and stop my timer. I'm at 5.5 hours. It's 7:01 in the morning, and I feel like this experience is making me appreciate the beauty of morning. I'm never up this early, and I just feel like everything sounds so beautiful and serene. And this tree, look at this tree. Oh, I love trees. It's just beautiful. There's the freaking moon. Yes, I am having my leftover birthday cake for breakfast. No frosting, please. Just dry cake. One thing I've noticed is that I am just so much hungrier than I normally would be, which is a great thing because I've been trying to put on weight. And I just wanted to show y'all my very balanced lunch today. It's breakfast time. I'm having a slice of leftover pizza, a carrot, an apple, and a hard-boiled egg. Okay, it's 11:41 a.m. We have officially hit 9.5 hours of reading. I am on page 90 of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I have also almost finished Dracula, excuse me. I've almost finished Dracula, and I will be okay, I took several little naps, but we're gonna continue anyway. And we're at 9 hours and 45 minutes, so let's keep going. Okay, everyone, it is 5:35 p.m. I have done 12 hours and 38 minutes. I am on page 168 of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I just finished the audiobook of Dracula. And I gotta say, I honestly didn't love it. And I think that's because I didn't fully grasp it. A lot of it went over my head. And that's probably because I was listening to a lot of it in my most tired hours, and the number of perspectives that it's told through was just a little bit hard for me to grasp without having the physical copy. I think if I was able to highlight and annotate and write, I would totally be more engrossed in the story. But I will say that the first quarter of the book was my very favorite part. Like, I enjoyed it immensely. And after that, I just kind of fell off, but that is not to fault Dracula, of course. That is probably me, and I am not mad about it. I'm glad that I listened to it. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to finish the rest of these hours tomorrow morning. Yes, I am splitting up my 24 hours, but I want to go to bed early tonight so that I can have a good sleep schedule and not stay up till like 5 in the morning to just finish these 24 hours. So I am going to be going till probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 p.m. and we'll see how far we can get with that. Okay, I have been reading for 14 hours and 32 minutes. It is 8:09 p.m. I just finished The Picture of Dorian Gray, and it was excellent. I would give this probably a 4 out of 5 stars off the bat. I've never read a story with such unlikable antagonistic characters and enjoyed it so much. There is hardly a good person in this story, and it is just such a feat, I feel like, that Oscar Wilde was able to write a whole story based on these wretched people, and it's so good. Like, you're in love with them in a love to hate them kind of way, and the ending is satisfying too. So I would highly recommend this classic for sure. I think now I am going to get into an audiobook and probably just have audiobooks going for the rest of tonight's duration, however long I'm going to keep reading. Say hi. Say hi, Mama. Hi, Mama. Sorry. Good morning. I just woke up. It is pretty late. I did sleep in, but that's okay. I am at 18 hours and 46 minutes. I don't really remember how far I got into the secret garden last night because I kind of was falling asleep. So I'm probably gonna have to rewind a bit, and I have a bit of a busy day today, so I'm gonna be mostly listening to audiobooks, I would assume. If I have time, I will go back to a regular book later. I don't know. We'll see. I've paused at 22 hours and 5 minutes to prepare for an interview. Okay, for everything that was going wrong, that interview went so surprisingly well. My internet was cutting out, my voice was cutting out, he had sent me an email that I missed somehow before the interview, and I still moved on to the next round of interviews. So if something is meant to be yours, it is meant to be yours. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what obstacles you're facing. When it's meant to be yours, it is meant to be yours. And that's the belief that I am going to go with, because it has gotten me so much further than just being scared, anxious, oh no, they need to hire me. Like, no, it's out of my hands. If it is meant to be mine, it's going to be mine. I just took a shower too. Just wanted to give y'all that little manifestation pep talk, because with that being said, I am going to get back to my reading. I have what? Let's see how long. 2-ish hours left. And I promise I will get to Frankenstein. I didn't this round, this binge, but Frankenstein, I'm coming for you. You guys, I did it. I did it. I finished at 26 hours and 17 minutes. We are on day 2 and it's 9:43 p.m. So that 24 hours took so much longer than 24 hours, but that is totally okay. I am so glad that I completed this challenge, even if I did it my own way. And I had to finish The Secret Garden. That's why I went over the time, because it is a wonderful book. I don't know if it's just because it's the last book that I read and I'm on a high of finishing this challenge, or if it was that it had exactly what I needed to hear right now in it. It was very related to what I was just saying, talking about manifestation, which is so crazy. I don't know how that happened, but I would recommend this book to anyone who enjoys slight fantasy, light fantasy, anyone who enjoyed Anne of Green Gables for sure, Little House on the Prairie, that kind of Caddywood Lawn, any of those girl protagonists out in the natures of the countryside sort of stories. I would definitely recommend this book to both children and adults, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm just so happy that I read that one and that I finished on that one. So what did we learn from this challenge? I learned that maybe I should have started with a 12-hour challenge. If you're thinking of doing this and you've never done one and you just want to go for it. By all means, do it. Do the 24 hours. I couldn't stay awake personally, and I thought that I was a person that, I mean, I stay up late. I'm a night owl, and that was difficult. So definitely keep that in mind. It takes up so much of your brain space too. That's another thing. And it's like when you read a whole book in one sitting, it's kind of like watching a movie, but even longer. At least for me, it takes me longer to read. Like The Picture of Dorian Gray, I can't believe I read right through that. That was a lot to take in. And I think part of the reason that it was a lot to take in is because I chose classics. So of course they're gonna be a lot to take in. I think next time I do this challenge, I will just be reading whatever books I choose at the time, so that I'm not limited to just the classics, because that was difficult. It was a lot to take in, and it felt like every one of those books was so important that I had to really appreciate them, and it kind of felt like I was doing a disrespectful thing by reading these books with such low brain power. I couldn't fully enjoy them to their max capacity, so I'll probably have to reread these books, which is a segue into my second channel, where I'm going to be reading books that are, I forgot what the word is, but they're so old that you can't copyright them, and The Secret Garden is one of them that I have wanted to do for a while now before I read it, and now that I've read it, I am absolutely sure that I want to do it, even though I do not have a British accent, so I realized I didn't film an outro for this, so have a good day and go read some books.